and everyone's favorite part, the Condor Trail. This is the part that I had no idea anything about going into it. I was most excited for it and also most scared of it. You go off trail, so we've been following trails this whole time. The beginning, you go a little bit off trail in Agua Blanca, but for the most part, you're on trail for everything else. I think literally on trail for everything else. And this part is all off trail, 52 miles, which is just as long as all those other sections. There are old trails here. The route does follow old trails, and then it kind of connects them. So you're like, the trail kind of goes up the creek, and then you just have to like overland to the next drainage and drop down to it, and then there's a trail. But these trails haven't been trails for at least 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and especially since the La Brea fire in 2009, none of them have been worked, so you're not following the trail anymore. You're just working your way up these drainages. We'll see what I have to say about it. I'm still not sure how I feel about this section.
Did you lose anything?
Yeah, so the triangle. This is the La Brea Triangle, deemed by Brian and Brian. Because every hiker who has gone through this section has lost at least one thing. Did you lose anything?
My sanity.
That was mine! Shouldn't have asked.
Almost a water bottle came out of my house.
Almost a
today.
water bottle. Yeah, someone who
Almost-
came through after you lost their
almost
filter.
The sanity mostly.
Yeah. So I didn't lose anything, but my sanity. Yeah, I did lose my sanity a little bit, and I just got stoked on the flowers for a little bit. Sorry. Bush poppy, my favorite plant. Smells really good. Smells like Jolly Ranchers. You see them in the front country. You don't have to go far. Go up Rattlesnake, has a seed to something. You see bush poppies in spring. Smell like Jolly Ranchers. And a lot of this section is really nice. You follow flats, right? This is not a trail, but it's pretty easy to walk through. Kind of follow the flat, cross the creek, follow the flat. A lot of them look like this when you're down low. And it's pretty easy to follow. Sometimes you're just walking straight up the creek. But the creek's wide like this. I don't know if it's always looked this way. I mean, it's not always looked this way, but it feels like maybe there was some debris flow in 2023 because it was pretty washed out. Like, a lot of people complained how choked out this section was. There's like young willows growing. A lot of it I was just walking on boulder fields. So I think I got a little lucky with that. But also the creek does narrow out, and you're just walking up or down the creek. It's nice in those places, but there's usually deeper water and your feet are wet, and there's a lot more poison oak. Which, if you get poison oak, this is not the section for you. The trail might not be the trail for you. But if you wear long sleeves, long pants, you're usually pretty good. And then this is what the overland sections look like. So this is, as Brian Sarvis called this in his book, a sparsely covered chaparral slope. I got here at the end of the day thinking, all right, sparsely covered chaparral slope, going to do another 3 miles to my camp. Instantly stopped. I think I spent like 3 or 4 hours hiking and got like a mile through this. And you're just pushing through it. Luckily, it's kind of soft compared to that whitehorn ceanothus, which is a lot worse. This is like mountain mahogany, bay quad ceanothus, and you can really swim through it. It's very similar to swimming in like kelp with some poking. And you just push through. It's not that fun. You scream a lot. I may have cursed Brian Sarvis' name a couple times while out there. May have cursed Brian Conant's name, who told me this wouldn't be the worst place to be in the rain. I think this would be one of the worst places to be in the rain. It wouldn't have been that fun. And don't worry, it gets better. It's more of this. And that one on the right side there. That's what I got a text from, I think, Sonia saying, like, wow, you're really slowing down out there.
Slacker.
Thanks. That's what it looks like that day. And it sucks, but you learn to laugh about it. It's like type 2 or 3 or 4 fun. And I don't know. You got to do it. It's like a necessary evil to finish the trail. And you're out there in the middle of nowhere, push through the bushes, and you find like these old signs of camp. It's like a felled tree and what looks like some chainsaw cuts on a burnt out bush there, like maybe a fire line from the Brea or something, but this is way out in the wilderness. As well as old camps. Because everyone, even though you're not on the trail anymore, people are still following this route. 2 people a year. 1 person a year, maybe 2 people this year, right? This is Hiawatha Camp that someone has rebuilt. Did you ever find Hiawatha Camp?
Oh, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks about like that. And that's a Canyon Camp, there's actually like a whole bunch of ice can stoves out there. These old stoves you see at the camps in the forest. And they used to, you build a fire and you push it in there, and it's kind of like a griddle that you can cook on. So it's kind of, you're out there and you're pushing through all the bushes, but you're still finding all of this sign of past life. And especially my favorite part of it, the cairns, which are not the trail. They're not marking the routes. They're just Brian setting things up every once in a while. I think it's funny, I found like 5 or 6. So we were following the same route, even though you're not on the trail. He talks about that in the book. He's like, yeah, it's not for any reason, just to make you feel like you're doing good. But it's also quite nice out there. There are a select few nice places out there. This was one of them, named Wyndham Gap. You start to really feel like Central California when you're out there. This grassland with the deciduous oaks. Really beautiful views. This is the top of Salsipuedes Canyon, where I made at the end of my day going up the sparsely covered Chaparral slope, which is about like 4 miles less than I want it to be. And yes, it was very wet that night. I know, I'm right on a creek in the bottom of a slope in my wet tent. Does anyone know what Salsipuedes means?
Even if you
Even if you can. Yeah. Spent the night. This is that view from the beginning. This is looking down Roque Canyon. It's probably my favorite view of this whole little section. And this ridge that goes down the middle, that's the trail. So I walked down that ridge to the creek and kept on going down that next creek. Eventually you get closer and closer to Highway 166. And you get more and more of this oak woodland, and you finally kind of break out of just pushing through the brush all day. You're in some more recently old trails, as well as some like ranch roads and stuff, some cattle paths, and some nice views, finally coastal views. I'm in the middle there, actually seeing Guadalupe dunes in Santa Maria. And this old gate that I thought was really funny. It was out there in the middle of nowhere. A two-way gate, like there was 2 roads out there at one point. And now there's none. And you think you're doing great. And you finally are like on these roads and you're going, and then you get to this, which is the trail. That's the trail. And I looked on the map like multiple times. I was like, I could probably just follow this ridge and keep going around. I don't need to drop into this. Like, that's horrible. Why would anyone do that? This is it. This is the only way through. That's all chaparral yucca, if you can't tell. Those really spiky ones that are out there. The whole hillside. The whole hillside. Like, you can barely fit your feet between it. And this is an up-close view in the middle. And then finally, when I made it to the top on the other side, looking back down, very steep as well. Like, you're climbing. You're using them to climb up. But when I get at the top, an old fence, right? Someone's been out there putting fence through that yucca. And finally, you get to Willow Spring, which means you're done with the off-trail portion of the Condor Trail. And shortly after that, I get to like a real trail. I found a sweatshirt hanging in the tree, like a JanSport or like an Old Navy sweatshirt, and I was like, yes, like I'm done. This is a trail people use. There was mountain bike tracks. There was trash, and everyone's so happy to see trash. And continued on down to Highway 166, where I've been really looking forward to walking on like flat ground because you don't have a solid step for 3 days. So I didn't have like I'm gonna put my foot there and it's gonna stay there. And I didn't like the road at all. I wanted to be back in the bushes. It was right away. I couldn't wait to get off the road. I climbed up Adobe Trail on the other side, grabbed my bucket on the way, and spent the night at the Green Gate, getting ready for the rain that was coming the next day, as you can see in this photo. At this point, I did have a hole in one of my shoes, and it was totally trashed, my shoe. Like, I had no tread left. So if I were to do it again, I would have new shoes in this bucket. And I maybe would have gone into town yet. I hadn't showered yet. I hadn't done real laundry yet. My clothes, after going through that section, they just get caked in like dirt. And they don't breathe anymore. Just like, think of like a trash bag. And just walking in that all day. So it was tough.
It's hard to get into town from there.
Yeah, it's hard to get into town from there. Yeah, some people that hiked it later in the year tried to hitch and got the cops called on them instantly. But the sheriff gave them a ride into town.